Hey, how you guys doing? This is your boy KLA, Cloud the Wanderer. And I have my co-host for this evening. Her name is Nicole Strauss, and we're both gonna interview Ms. Barbell Blair. Yeah, welcome. How you been?
Good. How about yourself?
I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm all
That's,
right. Yeah, thank you for giving us the opportunity to talk with you. And
yeah, thank you for reaching out to me. I'm really excited to have this conversation with you and just, share what I think I know about bodybuilding.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So you from what I learned, you started the fall of last year competing.
Yeah, so I did my very first competition a couple of years ago. It was when I turned 40. I competed for the first time. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, and I'm 42 now. So I only have two competitions under my belt, but I hope to compete again next fall.
What was that like being on stage in front of people? Because I don't know what that's like. Nicole probably know what that's like, but I don't know what that's like. So
Yeah, it was really really great. I feel like both shows were kind of a first time show for me, and what I mean by that is like the very first show that I did, um I was actually the only figure competitor that showed up.
okay.
Yeah. Nobody prepares you for that, right?
Wow. Yeah.
The only person. And I was really relying on the fact that there would be other women there because it was the first time I had ever done it. And so
Right.
I was terrified because now here I am going out to do the figure poses as somebody who's never ever done it before, the only person out there. I was hoping to in my peripheral vision use my girlies on stage to make sure that I was doing it right. And I was hoping to kind of hide, because I'd never really done it before. So that was terrifying. That was absolutely terrifying, and it was completely unexpected and nothing I could have ever prepared for. Um, being the only person, knowing that you're the only person that every single judge is watching and every single audience member is watching. Um, that means I won too, which felt um, I was very. It's not as exciting as you would think, if you're
Yeah.
the only person that shows up. Um, so I had to tell myself, well, I did everything in my power to make this happen. Um, I can't control anything else that happens at a show. But that just meant that I, because I won right away, I worked even harder the next year because I wanted to prove that I deserved that. So then the second time I competed was a year later, and that felt like the first time all over again because it was my first time actually competing against other people. um yeah, and it was really great. It was way more fun than I would have ever imagined it being. um the other women on stage were just incredible. I had people, everybody knew it was basically my first time up there competing against other people. And so, the ladies would try to whisper things to me while we're on stage, in our back pose, they'd remind me to flare my lats out. It was very supportive, much more supportive than I ever could have imagined it would have been.
So
So
so you had so in your first show you was like the only person competing.
the only person competing in figure.
Yeah.
Everybody else was bikini, and then there was one
Oh.
other physique competitor.
Oh
Yeah,
wow. Wow.
yeah, which was
What?
rare for that show. That was very unusual that there weren't any other figure competitors signed up. But
Wow. That.
The second.
This yeah, the second show. So I've only competed in my area so far. So Minnesota, Wisconsin
Okay.
area. Yeah, yeah,
That's like the Midwest, right?
yes, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah. And
What
since then,
made?
there have been more figure competitors competing in those
Yeah.
same shows. It was just like a fluke year after COVID. Um,
Yeah.
you know, but yeah, yeah, it was really, really fun, and I'm really glad that I took that first step getting on stage, That's
Mhm.
the hardest part, like saying yes to yourself, letting yourself try.
Yeah.
So,
Definitely.
What made you want to do it the second time?
oh, I needed to prove myself. I
Oh,
needed to prove myself worthy of being up there. Yeah. Yeah.
all all right. So, but how did you? How did I probably should have started from that beginning. How did you start? How did you start doing bodybuilding? Like, what was you doing before bodybuilding,
Yeah.
and what led you into bodybuilding?
Okay. Well, I've always kind of had a more muscular upper body. Um, I feel like I present kind of masculine with the shape of my upper body. I've had nice arms like as long as I can remember. And it's something that I always tried to hide. Like I was embarrassed, I just wanted these like feminine little dainty arms like everybody else. And so I I hid that for a long time. It's not something that I leaned into. And then as I got older, I actually had a failed business venture that led me to feeling sorry for myself, which led me to not taking very good care of myself for a year, and I decided I needed to get back in shape. So the journey, I've like to say that my bodybuilding journey started there, where I um, forced myself to work out a little bit every day, and I was doing, I was not weight training. I was doing a little bit of elliptical, and I was doing some Pilates, and I was just trying to get back into it. And after doing some Pilates, I noticed that I was developing abs. And that was when I saw those, I was like, I have joked that I should be a bodybuilder because of my upper body. Instead of making fun of myself for having these gigantic arms. Like, I should just see what I'm actually capable of doing. And so then I started lifting weights to see if I could build muscle. Um, and, I learned very quickly that being genetically blessed with an upper body did not mean that I had legs. So as I started leaning out, I did not have much muscle mass in my legs or in my glutes. And so, yeah, it's been a real big, like, eye-opening learning curve for me um, to balance out my body so that I can compete. But that's also one of the reasons that I love bodybuilding so much. Like, having to having the goal be balance in your physique means like really great health markers, right? It means like you're looking for weaknesses in and trying to build them up. It means you're less likely to get injured. Um, it also means, often you're training in a way that you're not trying to do something as fast as you can or even as heavy as you can. Um, it, you can stay within a certain like safety comfort zone with what you're doing, and I just it's been just so healthy. It's been so healthy for me to train as a bodybuilder. Yeah, so that's a long version of how I came to bodybuilding. I had a friend, who had been doing it too. And I didn't realize at first that there were different divisions. Like when I thought female bodybuilder, I thought, you know, female bodybuilder, like where they walk down the street and you're like, that they are
Yeah.
a bodybuilder. That's what I was picturing. I didn't know that there were you know smaller muscular versions, like different divisions that you could do. So that was exciting too, to try to figure out where I fit in with all of that as I'm training and as I'm trying to build muscle.
Yeah, yeah. Like why you chose figure like instead of bikini?
My arms were too big for bikini.
Oh,
I
okay.
just naturally had, my upper body is so dominant in my physique that it made a lot more sense for me to do figure, even though, there are limitations with my physique in competing in figure too. Like, I don't have a real tiny waist. So that is something that I have to consider a lot when I'm training, when I'm planning my programming, like trying not to create a lot of hypertrophy there so that so I can stay in the category that I'm trying to stay in. Um, yeah, so figure just felt more natural, even though I wasn't necessarily the ideal body type for it. It was where I best fit when I started, and I do think it's where I best fit still. But we'll see what happens as I keep growing.
Well, we got guests in the chat. We got all the way George Page. Good evening. And George says bikini is easier division and many women get their start. And he says female bodybuilding are just different divisions. Women's bodybuilding, fitness, figure, bikini, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
He's really insightful with the bodybuilding. Like it took me a while to kind of adjust to all these different divisions because I was just looking at it as they bodybuilding.
Right.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
couldn't tell the difference from a physique or figure. It had to take me time. He kind of mentored me about that, but along the way, I started kind of picking up like different physiques and all that stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not very easy. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And, it's up to you as a competitor. Like, do you want to fight against your natural body shape to create the shape you desire? Or do you choose to go with what your natural structure is and just build in that, And everybody has to decide that for themselves. Because ultimately, you, this is a this is a sport that's based on what you look like, and you want to like what your goal is going to be for you, you know so I think that's where I don't know that much about men's bodybuilding truly, but I know for women, um yeah, choosing which aesthetic you prefer is generally what happens for women. And then maybe down the road, they're like, fuck it. I just want to see it, how big I can get or whatever it is, or my body is doing this and I don't want to fight against it. I'm just going to go with it. And they end up in a different division than they
yeah.
thought they were going to be. But
You got any questions for her, Nicole, or comments or
I
anything
just,
like that?
just wanted to chime in. I'm happy that they have different divisions for women
mhm.
because, like, for me, realistically speaking, like, yeah, you said I could push if I wanted to. It would take years for me to get that big to be like in the. Actually, I'm an OCB, so I don't think.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah. Right on.
yeah, yeah. So I don't think OCB has a women's. We spoke about this before, Kay. I think during my
Yeah,
interview, I don't think
yeah.
OCB has a women's bodybuilding division.
No,
I didn't think
you
so
guys
Yeah,
either.
don't. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. But just to say they did, just for this example, let's say they had bodybuilding. I don't see myself trying to get that big.
Yeah.
You know, I
Yeah.
probably could if I kept eating and lifting and eating and lifting. It would take years. I probably could get that big, but
Yeah.
I'm happy they have different categories. Like I don't see myself being bikini either because like you said you had like a bigger upper body
Uh,
and naturally like muscular arms, like I have the same thing too, and I have like wide
yeah.
shoulders, so I couldn't like
Uh,
I wouldn't fit in the bikini category either. I,
yeah.
I don't want to be that lean. I'm not knocking anybody who does it. I think I
Yeah.
know a lot of really strong bikini competitors, like who are perfect for that category, but
Mhm.
I couldn't.
Oh,
Wouldn't match my physique.
Yeah.
So
show you
Definitely.
some pictures a little bit. Yeah, you have a nice physique, you know.
yeah, she has a really nice physique.
Yeah.
I didn't have legs yet, but they're coming. They're
It takes
coming
time.
now.
It takes time. It took me years, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
It took
So I'm gonna
years.
ask you. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
gonna ask you a silly. Oh, sorry. I'm gonna ask you a silly question. Like, how long you been? Okay, you okay?
Yeah.
How long do you see yourself competing?
Forever.
Forever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, at one of the competitions that I did, I've actually competed 3 times, twice in 1 year, and then a year later, I did my pro debut. But in one of the shows that I did the first year, the woman who beat me was 17 years older than me.
Wow.
And that was so inspiring.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, I have goosebumps just thinking about it right now. Like,
Mhm.
I love this lifestyle.
Mhm.
Um, I love what it's done to my diet. Like, I'm so healthy. I love what it's done to my sleep, what it's done to like my hydration, what it's done to my self-esteem, my mental health, like all the things. And n- uh, none of this feels I almost want to say none of this feels hard anymore, but of course it's hard. I mean, of course I'm pushing myself at the gym as hard as I can, like it's not easy. Um, but it's so routine now
Yeah.
that this is just how I live and it doesn't feel so hard. And
Yeah.
I don't see myself ever um giving up on myself now. Like I can't imagine a single scenario that would keep me out of the gym.
Mhm.
Mm,
I mean,
wow.
I follow a lot of fitness influencers that have even like lost limbs, and you see what they can do at the
Yeah,
gym. Like,
that's true.
Yeah.
so I can't conceive of any scenario in which this will not be my life anymore by choice. You know,
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
it's too
Yeah,
fulfilling.
I guess like it's kind of different with the natural bodybuilding with the with the IFBB because they do enhanced stuff and
Right.
sometimes they I don't know but like it seems like they put like it's intense
Yeah.
in that division so sometimes some people they kind of retire early some people don't you know and then
Yeah. Well, oh,
some
go
of
ahead.
some of
Yeah.
the competitors they're big they get bigger while some get older and stuff so
Yeah. Well, and I think like anything, um, there can be a healthy way to achieve your goals and an unhealthy way to achieve your goals, you
Mhm.
yeah
know? And so my top priority is my health. I've never ever stepped on stage with the intention of winning. And that may sound really stupid. I think it's because of my age. Like I'm an older woman, like in this sport. For the first time, I just don't need those kind of like pats on the back. Like I don't. Winning isn't the point. The point for me is I don't know. Like none of my friends are doing this. Like I don't have friends and family that would step on stage to do that. Like I I'm already winning. Like uh, because I'm
Mhm.
really really strong
Yeah.
and um yeah, I just being a part of the community and just stepping on stage and saying yes to myself and allowing myself to like have these growth experiences, like stepping on stage in a bikini and have people judge you. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I already feel like that's winning enough. Like, wow, I said yes to myself and
Yes.
tried something crazy and love it. Like, yeah, that's enough for me. So, but I can understand if like the goal for you is only to win, if you can't have fun unless you're on top. If you are willing to stretch the limits of what your body could and should handle for a trophy or a check or something, like, yeah, that does not sound like a lifestyle that's sustainable to me.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Bodybuilding is not a lucrative sport. You
No.
know, you have to be real passionate about it. And I can't
Yeah.
be no bodybuilder. So,
Yeah. I look at
and
it
it,
like it's a very expensive hobby for me,
yeah.
Yes.
but I
Yeah.
love it. It's a very expensive hobby.
Yeah. Same. Yeah.
So, we got George. He says, "Are there any bodybuilders you follow in the sport?" And
Yeah. I pretty much I follow most of the figure competitors that compete at the Olympia. Like most people do, there are figure competitors in my region too that I follow and support, and can't wait to see what they're doing. I have a friend who is just killing it out there right now in figure. I also follow bodybuilders in other divisions. Like um now that I'm in this space and I am fascinated by muscles and muscle growth and different people's workouts, I follow male bodybuilders too. Like I'm always curious to see how people are what methods people are using to achieve their goals. Um, that's really fun for me. I really like to nerd out on that and see what everybody's doing. Like I never would have imagined that as an adult, w- what I like to do for fun is watch people work out on Instagram. But that's
yeah, they
that's
got some
fun.
nice exercises, especially the
Yeah,
women, at
yeah,
times, I kind of mimic some of the stuff, like the lunges, because I got like a set
yeah.
of weights and I see certain things they be doing and I try to copy it a bit.
Yeah, for
So,
sure, for sure. Yeah, I don't have a trainer. I'm just training myself, which means I make a lot of mistakes, like really a lot of mistakes, I'm sure. And I'm getting there longer. Like it takes me longer to get where I need to go than other people, for sure. But um I'm learning so much. I'm learning so much about myself,
Hmm.
um and I'm paying attention. Like if I try a new exercise, I'm really paying attention to how my body is responding to it. um so yeah, I like to see what other people on Instagram are doing too, to see if it's something that I think I should try to implement in my program or not. um yeah, I just think it's really fun.
why you don't have a trainer if you don't mind me asking? Because I mean,
Yeah,
how would you know what to do and what not to do? Like I mean, like you just want to go through the trials and the errors. You comfortable with
I
that?
do. It's
Oh,
experimentation. Yeah, I
okay.
like it's like my body is an experiment. And I enjoy that. Like I enjoy researching different exercises. I enjoy studying how my body responds to things I'm doing. I enjoy looking for things that I think that I need to work on and figuring that out. I also I'm not sure that I would enjoy, being given a workout by somebody else who tells me exactly what to do, um, and just mindlessly doing it. Maybe I would like that, and maybe I would see way more growth than I'm able to do on my own. But part of what's fun about bodybuilding for me is the like nerding out over my own physique and doing the research and doing the experimentation and playing with food, even like playing with my macros to see what feels best for me, like that's fun to me. Now some people don't want to spend time doing that. They don't want, to use their time and energy to figure out what they should be doing. But I think that's really fun. And since, like I said earlier, I'm not like winning isn't the goal. Like that'd be great. I'm not saying I never want to win or something like, but I'm not trying to get somewhere as fast as I can because I have a goal in mind. I just like this lifestyle. And I like working out and I like, you know, figuring out my macros and playing with food. And like it's all just really fun for me to figure out on my own.
Yeah. You got anything, Nicole? Or
Okay. I give you much credit for that because I need direction. I, no, I'm not one. You're good. I'm not one of those people. I need to be told what to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but
Yeah,
no,
I get that. I get that
great.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. If it works, hey, go
Yeah.
for it. If it works, yeah. For me, I
Yeah.
couldn't. I know I'm not that disciplined where I can. Like, I remember one time my coach had me do my own macros, and I was just like, "Nah, this ain't working. This is not working." Because there's a lot of chocolate chip cookies in there. It's like, oh, it fits my macros, but it was like I wasn't really eating the right things, and
Yeah.
like I said, I'm at that age where I have to, I just turned 50, and I have to, I have to consider micronutrients, not just the
Yeah.
macronutrients,
Yeah.
you know, because the
Yeah.
micronutrients can cause inflammation.
Yeah.
So my coach is also a nutritionist, has really been helping me with that, and like average, she's helped me reduce a lot of inflammation because that shows on stage when
Yeah.
you're inflamed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I need direction.
Well, and
It's
I
like,
could see myself, yeah,
yeah,
I could see myself like, if I'm competing a lot and I'm so close, but I'm not making it, right?
yeah,
If I'm at that, I could see myself looking for guidance, like getting a
yeah,
trainer to help me figure out what I'm missing
hmm,
when I'm trying to do this myself.
yeah,
Um yeah, I could see myself doing that. And I think, one of the things that I know that I could use help on because it's difficult to find information about is like carb loading before a show.
hmm,
I mean, there's lots of different ways to do it, and not every way works for every body type. And like,
yeah,
and even researching that, like, it's really difficult to research it because it's not like there's not just like one method that you just apply to
yeah,
everyone, so that is something that I will fully admit I need to do more research on. I need to experiment with myself more on, because that is something that I am struggling understanding how to do optimally for show day.
hmm.
So stuff like that, I would definitely reach out.
what was it like preparing yourself for like the second show?
For the second show, I knew I wasn't ready. Like I did two shows in the same year. The second show was a month later. Um, I knew that I wasn't showing up at my best. I wasn't as tight as the first show that I did. But I had friends that were doing it, and I told myself I'm just going to do it anyways because, you know, my first show, I didn't learn the things that I wanted to learn because I was the only competitor.
Mm.
So I just went in with the mentality of this is like another practice for me. This is just like, I don't want to spend a whole nother year training for a show and not having had that experience of like actually competing alongside other people. Um, so my whole attitude going into that second show was I'm just here to learn. I'm just here for the experience, and so that I have done this enough times that I can be really prepared for the next show. And so then the year later is when I did my pro debut. And I could have waited. I could have not competed as a pro and just kept building. But I decided that I was just gonna throw my hat in the ring and see what happens. And, my goal for that show, for my pro show, was to at least look like I belonged up there with those
Mm,
other women. That was it.
mm,
Like it wasn't about placing for me. It was just I wanted to look like I belonged there instead of in the amateur division. And, I took third of three. However, I wouldn't have. That was the stage that I belonged on. I didn't belong on the amateur stage with the other figure competitors. So, I had worked my ass off and I, got bigger and I did what I came to do. I looked like I belonged standing next to those two other ladies. So, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was about to say something like there are bodybuilders, few bodybuilders I know that they don't have a coach. One is like Nancy Lewis, and
Okay.
another one is I forgot her name, but there's a couple of bodybuilders that don't have a coach,
Mhm.
and I'd be like, wow, like did you have like some knowledge like of bodybuilding at least, or that it's just through your friend?
No, I mean, I just gained it as I went. So, like,
Yeah,
initially, when I started calling myself a bodybuilder, intending to do a show, I was just working out. Like,
yeah.
I didn't know the difference between, working out and bodybuilding training. I was just trying to get in the best shape of my life, I guess you could say. And then, after that first show, when I was around more bodybuilders then, and I saw the people that were showing up, to compete, and I understood the divisions more, and I had more conversations with people who have actually done this before. And then I learned more about what my physique needed to be more competitive. And as I researched that, that is when I started learning more about actual bodybuilding as opposed to, like, just working out, like different ways of training, um, prioritizing hypertrophy over strength. And it's something that it's always a journey. Like, I'm still learning. I'm still updating my program. Some things that worked for me last year might not work for me this year as well. I'm understanding my body more and what exercises are actually doing what I need it to and which ones are not.
Mm.
Um, yeah, yeah,
We got
Yeah.
always George page from the look and figure. Any women are either moving to women's physique division or to wellness. And he
yeah.
also says coaches help in the process. They also give a perspective that you might not see.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah. No, I could definitely see that. And I think not having a coach, it's mostly about my mentality towards competing. If I was super driven and just really wanted to win, I would pay somebody to help me.
mm,
But since I like the community, and I want to just beat myself from last year. um I, I guess that's just where I'm at right now. I also have a lot of kids too, so, like, prioritizing where my money goes matters. um and I've been really pleased with what I've been able to build so far without a coach at this stage of my life. Now, maybe once all of my kids, leave the nest, and I don't feel so guilty about spending money on myself, then maybe, I'd be more interested in having a coach too. But right now, I'm really pleased with what I've been able to do on my own.
Hmm.
yeah, okay, yeah.
That's
Do
important.
you have any plans to for your next show?
Yeah, so right now I'm in a bulk. And I plan to stay bulking through probably through January. Um, and then February, I'll assess where I'm at to see if I want to stay with that just a little bit longer or if I want to just be in maintenance for a little bit. And then in the spring, I will start my lean out and I plan to compete in the fall. So I like to take a long lean out process. I prefer to lose, maybe a half a pound a week, because that's what feels good to me. And then I feel like I'm able to maintain most of my muscle mass as I lean out. Um, yeah, so that's the plan. And what I'll do, like there's shows all the time. So what I'll do is I'll just, throughout the spring, I'll just watch my body and see how it's responding to my cut. And as I get closer to the physique I want to present, I'll start looking for which show I should compete in.
You had any questions on Nicole? I don't know if I cut you off.
No, I agree with what she says of like
Oh,
just doing a long prep
yeah.
Yeah.
because me, I don't. I think you just need that time since you are a natural competitor. It
Mhm.
just takes that much longer to build muscle and to see any like real improvement.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't believe in doing back to back shows. This is my for me. Per everybody's different, but
Yeah.
physically and mentally, I wouldn't be able to handle doing back to well, mostly mentally. It would be hard for me to do back to back shows.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
need that time for I really need that time to mentally and physically, prepare myself for the next show. You
Yeah.
know, to, kind of because it is like going on stage. As for me, prep is really hard, and
Mhm.
going on stage, like say, like last time I was a little nervous because I hadn't competed in like 5 years. So,
Okay.
but it's a lot. I've gotten past the like, oh, people are gonna look at me, they're gonna see me in my bikini. That doesn't bother me anymore. It was hard
Yeah.
like when I first stepped on stage. But I know for me, I think a longer prep is better because you can really build your physique. You can really practice your posing.
Yeah.
You can really just fine tune your body so you can bring like a much better package than you did the year before. So
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. Like a longer prep, like me, I'm like just one show a year is good enough.
Mhm.
You know.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I think, a long prep too, I feel like if you, depending on how you do it, it feels like less of a shock to your
yeah.
body too. So, like for me, it was so much more manageable to do it that way. And to like, I think it's going to work well for me to just slowly, peel that fat off and then look for a show instead
Yeah.
of have a target show,
Hmm.
because then if I feel like I'm not leaning out fast enough, it's easy to be tempted to do something that is a little bit more drastic than you would like, because you're
Yeah.
like, this fat isn't coming off as fast as I thought. So now I'm only going to eat this much, or you know what I mean? Like, I just feel
Yeah.
like, work trying to work with my body will be a lot healthier way to get there.
Hmm.
Um,
What was prep like for you? Like you have kids, like I
yeah.
could imagine like they getting on your nerves or something like that, and like how did you kind of like I don't know, maintain your composure or
Yeah.
just kind of like find like a solitary place where you just cope?
My kids, now that they're older, they're I don't want to say they're easy, because it's kids, so things come up that pose challenges, but yeah, I they're at a stage of life where it's really not a struggle for me. So we have 9 kids actually.
Nine
Um,
kids.
9 kids. Yeah, yeah. But they're older now. We've launched most of them. We have 3 or 2 in high school and 1 in middle school. So like
Okay.
those are our youngest. The other ones are adults now, but so they're at the age where um I don't know. they're able to be supportive of my goals instead of like an obstacle that I need to like
Yeah.
find my way around to also have goals as a parent. Yeah, so it's with my kids, it's super easy. And you know, the meal prepping and stuff like that, like um we just eat pretty healthy anyways. Like
Yeah.
you know, I prioritize making real food. Um and kind of have always done that. So, you know, they might be eating something slightly differently than I am, or, you know, in different amounts than I am, but it's really not, it hasn't been a struggle for me, you know, feeding kids and feeding myself at the same time, or even just the stress of competing. Like, I don't know, my youngest is so supportive of me. Like, she's the one who videotapes me when I practice my posing, or you know what I
Oh,
mean?
that's
Like,
cool.
yeah.
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, they're in it
That's,
with me. So
yeah. So
yeah.
you think she kind of like influenced by you, like working out, or
Oh,
like
for
she go
sure.
to gym?
Yeah. Yeah, she's a gymnast too. So
Okay.
she has tips for me of like, you know, mom, you should really do this for your abs, or you know, whatever. Yeah. And
Were
sometimes she'll
they
work
in
out
your,
with,
oh, sorry.
yeah. No, go
I
ahead.
was going. Now I was going to ask, like, what it, how were they in your shows, like couple of shows?
They've come to my shows. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Were they bored or?
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. Yeah. Yeah. My youngest, because she knows, like, she pays more attention to bodybuilding out of all of my
Yeah.
kids, and she's the one who talks with me about it, and she's the one who like works out with me sometimes or watches me. She can have fun at a show because she knows what to look for. Like, she understands bodybuilding and knows the divisions, and like, you
Yeah.
know, so we can have a conversation about what we're seeing on stage. But my other kids, no, it's really not that much of a spectator sport. Like, it's a long day.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
old is the other one that you that kind of vibe with you on the bodybuilding?
Well, all of my kids are pretty supportive of what I'm doing.
Oh, okay.
And you know, my youngest is a gymnast, as I said, and then I have a son who's a competitive power lifter.
Okay.
So we're able to talk shop, you know, about our weight training and the you know, what we're eating. Like, we're both on a bulk right now, you know. So that's been really fun to um relate to each other in
Yeah,
that way.
that's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool. This
Yeah.
is a message from All the Race George Page. Damn, 9 kids?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's cool. What's the husband say about how the husband feel about you bodybuilding?
I guess I'm not really sure. I mean, like, you know, he's supportive. I've never
No.
asked him like, do you think this is cool or no? You know, but he shows up for me, and he celebrates me and supports me and doesn't get upset about how much time I spend at the gym. You know, yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
as
he
long
might
as
get a little bit annoyed if he's made something for dinner and I'm like, oof, I can't eat that. You know, he might find that a little bit annoying, but other than that, I think he's pretty supportive.
yeah, that's cool. I could show a little clip a bit, and you know.
You think you saw a woman lift weights and get bulky, but what you actually witnessed is a woman start to feel strong. She saw progress and liked it. She asked, who benefits from me being thin and small and weak? Then she gave up her forever diet and healed her relationship with food. She felt capable and became confident. She dared to question what she was capable of, asking, what is my true potential? And then she was bold enough to try to find out.
That's a hell of an improvement. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Very impressive, and she has no coach. That's very, very impressive.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So like how long you stay in the gym? Like what's like what it's like for you working out?
Yeah. I am a bit ridiculous when I go to the gym. So I should preface this by saying that in my regular job, I work from home by myself. Um, so I I like to have the gym also kind of be my social time. So I prepare plenty of time to do my workout and to be interrupted by people trying to talk to me. Um, so I like to be there at least 2 hours for my workout. Usually an hour and a half of that is pushing really hard, and a half hour of that is, chatting up other people who have questions or, you know, just want to share about like how their training is going or, you know, stuff like that. Um, but yeah, I really like to spend time at the gym. I am not one of those people that has to talk myself into going. Like I'm the person who drives by the gym and wishes I could go right now, but I was already there today.
More of a like a temple or something like that.
It is, and what I like to, so, I my biggest goal with my own bodybuilding journey is talking about this with other women,
Right.
like trying to share the joy with other women. And yeah, it does feel like a temple to me. Like when I'm weight training, that is my masseuse, my physical therapist, my mental health therapist. Like, when you're counting reps, it's so similar to meditating. You're breathing and counting and clearing your head, like it just nurtures me in so many important ways. And it didn't start out like that. Like I keep trying to tell my female friends, like, I had to force myself at first. I hated it at first.
Mm.
When I first started, I could barely do 15 minutes on an elliptical without thinking I was dying. Like I was so out of shape and I hated it. Um, but so I wasn't always an athlete, right? I wasn't like this person who's been an athlete, all through their childhood and then, have been fit my whole life and now I do bodybuilding. That was not the journey for me. Um, but yeah, the ways in which the gym feeds my soul, I never ever would have guessed that that's the kind of relationship that I would have with lifting weights.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, what does she feels is her best physical feature?
Ooh. So initially, it was my abs because I never could have imagined that I would have visible abs. And I was really proud of them for a long time. But now it's starting to be my legs. And that is because I hated my legs growing up. And it's been the hardest part for me to build. So seeing progress in a body part that I hated so much, like that is so rewarding to like, you know look forward to quad season when you can wear shorts and show them off. Like, yeah, that I never imagined that I would feel that way about my legs. So
Yeah. I think that's like the part in seeing some of you bodybuilders is the legs. Because
yeah.
it has like the definition, the quads and stuff is bigger. And
Hmm.
yeah. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
so yeah, yeah, I think that's it. I mean, Nicole, do you have any questions or comments or anything like that?
Oh yeah. What's your IG so I can start following you?
Yeah, it's Shira Revolution.
Sure. Okay.
Well, you know what? Let me see if I could pull up the hold up. Share the screen. Hold on.
So
I ain't
Nicole,
really,
are you still competing or?
Yeah. I'm still competing. My
Oh,
my
okay.
yeah. So my pro debut will be next year.
Right on.
So exactly, my pro debut is going to be
so this is
October.
her IG,
It's going to be in October. Like I said, I like long prep. So
Shiva
yeah.
Revolution. You guys see this?
It's S
Do you
H
guys see it?
S
Yeah.
H
Oh,
E R A.
do you
Yep.
guys see this?
Mm-hmm. I can see it. Yeah.
Oh, oh, okay.
SHERA. Okay.
The
Shiro. Shiro.
SHE dot R. Yeah.
All
What
right.
me,
So Shiro.
you used to like the Shira? You used to like Shira, the cartoon?
Well, yeah. So when I was, I grew up in the 80s, and Shira was the first
Yeah.
woman I'd ever seen that was strong and muscular. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
calling out
Shira
my
was
age
cool.
right now with that.
I'm older than you. I'm 48.
I'm older than both of you. But I think
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
but you got me there.
yeah. I think Wonder Woman was like my first like female hero that I had.
Right
First
on.
it was Wonder Woman, then it was like the Bionic Woman.
Yeah,
Then
that's the same
yeah,
thing with me.
yeah. Right.
Yeah, those were like the two women that I kind of fell in love with, the strong women, because I
Yeah.
seen Wonder Woman, and then when I got older, I didn't really like the TV series too much, you
Mhm.
know, because it was kind of like I don't know, it was kind of ridiculous a bit. I thought the Bionic Woman was more realistic, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because she got injured and stuff, and then she would fight like these androids and stuff, and it wasn't too crazy like Wonder Woman. She kind of wanna like turn, she does that spin, and a swimsuit, and then with the skateboard chasing after guys and stuff like that. I was like,
Yeah.
what was they thinking about?
I loved Wonder Woman because she was just she was like sexy, strong, beautiful.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Still very feminine but strong, and
Yeah.
she was, I don't know, she was so badass to me. I loved Wonder Woman growing up.
yeah,
But she was my first
yeah.
like female like hero, like Wonder
Yeah.
Woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used
Cool.
to get the comic books from Wonder Woman too a little bit. Yeah,
She's fierce.
yeah,
Wonder Woman was so fierce.
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah. Well, I appreciate you giving us the time and sharing your story. Is there any shout out you want to give before we leave you alone?
Yeah, I don't have any shout outs. But I just want to say, if you're interested in bodybuilding, you should just do it. Just say yes to yourself. Like whether you feel like you can do it, whether you feel like you're ready or not, like, you just have to say yes and see what you're capable of. So, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate
No
it.
doubt, no doubt. In the future, you want to talk with us again? Yeah, I'm sure.
All
I'm
right.
game, and Nicole is game, and yeah,
Yes.
on your
Yes.
third show, and
Okay.
tell us your experience
How it
again.
went.
Yeah, hopefully you'll
Sounds
win.
good.
You'll win.
Right?
A
Yeah.
win a show. That'd be exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Get your pro card too. You know.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, I wanna throw my hat in the ring in different federations too and
Yeah.
see what happens. So yeah.
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 All
Definitely.
right.
I want to. Same here. I want to try NPC Naturals
Yeah.
at some point
Yeah.
just to see if I can get a pro card in that federation.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
There's something like,
I
you
wish.
know, what I love about bodybuilding is like the possibilities are endless. You can just, you
Definitely.
know, you can just set goals upon goals upon goals and just keep, you know, there's always something. I feel like there's always something to look forward to because you constantly have to, your body's constantly improving.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, definitely,
Okay.
I agree with you. If you don't, just try it. Like, why not?
Yeah,
Well,
and if it's something
oh,
that's been a fantasy, like just do it.
Yeah,
Just go for it.
yeah,
Yeah. What's the worst that could happen? Like
yeah.
you show up on stage and you're the only one there? Like that could be the worst. You still survive it.
Yes,
You know?
yes, true indeed.
Yeah.
well, I wish you both you ladies good luck.
Yeah,
Oh,
You
thank
thank
know,
you
you.
so
that's
much.
what.
It was so
Yeah, no
nice to meet
doubt.
both of you.
Yes, nice
Yeah,
to
no
meet you.
doubt.
Yeah.
All right. All right, folks, it's a wrap. Thank you for tuning in. Give me a like. You know, you follow these ladies. Yeah, and yeah, and that's it. So.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
All right.